Hola, welcome back to our daily devotional. You are watching The Vessel with Sister B. And today is this beautiful, glorious day in New York. It is day 20 of our daily devotional. So it is May 20th, 2021. And it feels like summer out here. It does not feel like spring. It is so absolutely gorgeous out here. I hope you're having a gorgeous day. Today's devotional is titled Have the Faith to Assume a Holding Pattern. Okay, and I will be reading from Women Thou Art Blessed by Pastor T.D. Jakes. Amen. So he starts with a verse from the book of Psalm, the chapter 40, verses 1 through 3. And it reads, I waited patiently for the Lord, and he inclined to me and heard my cry. He also brought me up out of a horrible pit, out of the miry clay, and set my feet upon a rock and established my steps. He has put a new song in my mouth, praise to our God. Many will see it and fear and will trust in the Lord. And that's why our testimonies are so absolutely important, because when God inclines his ear to you, he hears you, and he brings you out of the miry clay, sets your feet upon a rock, and establishes your steps. That is complete transformation of the mind, renewing of the mind, transformation of the heart. Your life will never be the same. And everyone who knew the old version of you and sees the new version of you has no other choice but to know that there truly is a God, and he can do what he says he can do. Amen. So it reads, the real test of faith is in facing the silence of being on hold. Those are the suspended times of indecision. Have you ever faced those times when your life seemed stagnant? Have you felt you were on the verge of something phenomenal? That you were waiting for that particular breakthrough that seemed to be taunting you by making you wait? All of us have faced days that seemed as though God has forgotten us. These are the moments that feel like eternity. These silent coaches take your patience into strenuous calisthenics. Patience gets a workout when God's answer is no answer. In other words, God's answer is not always yes or no. He says, not now. And remember, my advice to you in those moments is hold on to the word that he gave you, and hold on to the last thing that he did for you so absolutely clear. Okay? When it was very clear that only with God's help and only through God's grace could you have gotten through something that we sometimes just call a miracle. Hold on to that until your next miracle. Amen. It is God's timing that we must learn. He synchronizes his answers to accomplish his purpose. I wonder if we as the children of God shouldn't be better prepared for those times in our lives when God speaks from his throne. Assume a holding pattern until further notice. The question is not always, do you have enough faith to receive? Sometimes it is this: do you have enough faith to assume a holding pattern and wait for the fulfillment of the promise? You feel a deep sense of contentment when you know God has not forgotten you. When working with people, we often must remind them that we are still there. They seem to readily forget who you are or what you did. God doesn't. Don't confuse your relationship with him with your relationship with people. God says through Paul that it is unrighteous to forget. For God is not unjust to forget your work and labor of love which you have shown towards his name, in that you have ministered to the saints and do minister. In Hebrews chapter 6, verse 10, God simply doesn't forget. Okay, so don't put God in a box. Don't try to understand, because God is outside of our understanding. God lives outside of time, outside of space, outside of our reach, outside of our understanding. And at the same time, He's got enough to live inside of you and be with you at all times. So that is beyond our comprehension. So, okay, so the purpose point. God's answer is not always yes or no. Sometimes He says, not now. So just wait, not now. It is God's timing that we must learn. He synchronizes His answers to accomplish His purpose. Remember, it's always for His purpose. His will be done. His kingdom come. Okay, for His glory. Amen. The transformation moment, my favorite. Do you remember long road trips as a child? Or maybe you have children and car rides feel eternally long. Life can feel like that too when we're waiting for something we really want but don't have yet. Children ask the question, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? I know that feeling. I've driven with kids in the car. I know. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Repeatedly until finally the destination is reached. And God forbid you have a child who gets car sick. Yeah, those are the complications that come in between. Or someone has to use the restroom, and so on and so forth, etc. You get the gist. So we can be like that too, continuously reminding God that we are still down here waiting. But my daughter, my son, God did not forget you. You might feel like life is stagnant and you have no answers, but God is never stagnant. He is always working on your heart and orchestrating situations to fulfill His purposes in you and for you. So in you and for you. Rest in Him and ask Him to teach you about His perfect timing. Amen. Amen. So as always, I love this book so far. I'm loving it. I'm loving this journey. And as always, I invite you to continue on this journey with me. Stay in prayer. Stay in relationship with God. Stay in His Word. It's the best way to stay in relationship with Him and to hear from Him. He will put the right people in your path. He will remove the right people from your path. He will give you revelation. Ask Him for knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Okay, so from my family to yours, stay safe, stay blessed. We love you. Until next time, bye. God bless you.